Hey, hey, hey. Okay, I just started it, so I'll just wait for a minute or so because I think the. Um, okay, great. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome, welcome. How was your day? Hello, welcome. I'll just wait for a minute for others to join. Hey, hey. What up, what up? Alright, so let's start. I'll go over today's trades. So let's first bring out the trades. So yeah, drop your questions, whatever questions you have. The giant Uber stick saved my day. I don't know how to take that, man. But congrats. Okay, so let's just first go over crowd. Alright, so I had my levels marked. I know that someone asked a good question today that why did I take crowd even though it wasn't in the watch list? So this is one of the things that, like, if I have 5 or 6 stocks on watch list, I also have secondary watch list, which is always there. You know, I have like 30 tickers with alerts set. Yeah, I'll explain the market order one as well. Okay. Uh, these questions are about today's trades. How do I develop my daily watch list for scalps? Yeah, I'll go over that in a different video. For today, let's just focus on today's trades. But that's a good question. Okay, so I had my alert set here for this level here, which is basically around all-time high, around 285 to 288 area for crowd. And you know, it just hit the alert. And also today there was a news in the morning for CrowdStrike that they had partnership with Amazon. So I read that news on, I think, Twitter. I was just going through the news on, like, you know, breaking news and stuff like that, and I saw that news. So crowd was definitely back of my mind, and I was watching. One sec. Yeah, I'm getting a phone call right now. Give me a minute. What is your news source? No, it's free. I use Twitter. I just subscribe to a lot of. If you go look at my like the people I'm following, I have, like, you can look at breaking news and all those other things. I keep looking at that, and also I look at the Unusual Whales live news flow. You know, you can go to Unusual Whales here. If you go to the flow section here, and there's this live news flow, so it's just always there, you know. And I usually filter it with the tickers I have in the watch list or the secondary watch list here. So this one here, and I also filter it here with you know, top news, and you know, just mess around with it. Yeah, like, I'll go over that maybe in a separate video, but like, I use this basically, and then I use Twitter as well. For example, I go here and then breaking news. Yeah, like, I just go over this in the morning, and somewhere I read about the CrowdStrike. I don't know which one, but it was there. So yeah, I was watching crowd, and then the reason why I got in the trade was I saw the volume Like the first 5 minute volume bar here was significantly more than the other days. You can see here, like these volume, relative volume was strong for the first 5-10 minutes. Yeah, and then I saw that, I think I alerted around this time, maybe around this area, when I saw a break of 285 or 288, and I saw that there was no red candle here on 5 minute, so that was a good sign. I saw this dip being bought here. It never broke this EMA, so I was like, it looks pretty good. I don't overthink. I jump in the trade. I have an exit plan, like which was basically break of this level 283. I can get out easily, and or break of this level depending on the volume, and also might as well capitalize on the scalp. So my plan was to just scalp it for whatever profit I get. But like the rest is history. Saw this big bar here, added more here in my position, had just maybe 25% of my position here. As soon as I saw this another like a big candle here, like it break of this, I added more, and then I started scaling out around this area. And then this is where I sold all my 295 calls, I think around 295 area, and I got 300 calls. But then here around this area, I was like, well, it looks like a bull flag, but it was around 1055. It wasn't making a new high, and my stop was around this area 295. And then I got out the remaining contracts for a little bit of profit for 300 calls. So overall making, I think we banged on this one like 150%. Okay, so any questions for crowd trade, specifically only for crowd? No questions for CrowdStrike? No questions for crowd. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Move on to what's that? Lol, what happened to Uber post market? After hours, looks like the price is 49.4. I think maybe it's Webull messing up. So you're looking for no wick on those green candles closely. What does that mean? What wick are you talking about? Like the topping tail, like this one? Rodolfo, please explain the question. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, like these topping tails, I played CrowdStrike before, so I know that pullbacks are part of CrowdStrike, and I saw that this had a strong volume on this one, but it was still pushing through. It didn't break this level or this level, so everything was fine. I would have stopped out here. Like let's say that it broke below this wick, see here, this one, I would have stopped out here. Do you use automated order for breakouts? No, everything is manual. Automated are for swings, and that too, like I don't really use them that often. I usually do it manual, just set alert and do it, because I've seen it. I get really bad fills. Can you please close up on the screen? It's not so clear. What do you mean, zoom in? Well, maybe if you're watching on your cell phone and your internet is not that good, you won't be able to see it. What EMA do you use? I have a video for that. My trading view setup, you can go watch that one. It's in my setups watch list. Okay, no other question. What's the 20% rule at market open? I'll go over that in the end. When buying breakouts, do you normally buy the ask? Yeah, sometimes I buy the ask. Like the way I think about it is that I scale in, I put one order at the ask, and I put one order below the bid, 20% below the bid. At if and like it depends if it's market open order or 15 minutes into market. Timing matters a lot. Okay. Yeah, you have to change your settings to HD mode. It would be blurry otherwise. Yeah. What else? Let's look at Square. Square was a super easy trade. I think it was super like technical breakout. Nothing much here. Do you enter scalps upon break of pre-market or previous day levels? Yeah, of course. I enter scalps break of pre-market as well. Yeah, so for Square, like if you have traded Square, look at the 4-hour chart, daily chart for Square. This is like up and handle breakout here. It's just waiting for the earnings, in my opinion. So keep the questions to the trades, if you don't mind, please. What's the best advice for someone that has 1K account? How do you find it growth? I have already given out the strategy for that. Just go search my Twitter feed. Yeah, so this is like up and handle, and so 265 was a critical level here, 260, and then 265 area. This was yesterday's close here, so I was watching 265 area, and then look, this is like very clean and simple technical breakout pattern. There's nothing much to it. It's like consolidating right above 265 area, and the market was not looking weak at that point of time. QQQs were strong, so everything was looking good, and like this EMA was holding really well. So we saw this wick here, but then again it didn't close below this. So I think I alerted around this area. I got in around this kind of wick, and then some folks got around this area, maybe, like depending on when you saw my tweet. And then again the same thing, right? It broke out here with like really fast breakout here, no red candle. Like these were clean breakout. You could have taken profit here at 268 level, but my target was 270. I think it was 268. Yeah, sorry, my target was 268, but it went all the way to 270. I took profits around here, and the reason why it was 268 was because it was just like a previous resistance here. 266 was resistance, 268 this one here. So just based on that, you can also look at the volume profile on a lower time frames. I don't really use that much, but that sometimes helps to identify where are the key points. But I do that before. Do you immediately set okay? Can you guys still hear me? Is the stream okay? Drop a comment if you think if there's some issue. Okay, you can hear. Okay, cool. So there are questions here. What breakout plays do you immediately set a stop right under support in case it's a false breakout? Yeah, I mean that's a good question. Let's evaluate that scenario. I don't put stops manually. So what I do usually is, let's say that I got in here at a bid price of, just for example, take $1 here, right? I got a bid price of $1 here. So what I do is that I'm willing to lose, let's say that 30 cents on $1 for one contract. So what I do is I set my stop to 30 cents below, or 33 cents below. And then, like either I can set a mental stop or I set like automatic stop. For scalping, I set mental stop. And then what I do is that I have key levels in mind when I'm looking here. For example, this never closed below this level, like the 5-minute candle here, 263 area. So that's a good area for you to manage risk against. And then let's say that you got in around this area, right? So this could be a good stop to manage risk against. So just find the next support area, on the closing bars here, and whatever your risk tolerance is. If it's low, set it here. If it's high, set it here. My criteria is that the high ATR the stock is, which is average true range, I set the stop lower because it can have volatile movements. And I mean, just like this comes with the experience as well. Like, like if you have traded Square, how it moves. So it's not a perfect science, but like I get out immediately when I see if it's not going in my favor. Let's say that this candle, right? Like let's say that I had a market open order here and I saw this one, I would be out immediately. But that's how I usually do it for scalps. Trying to maximize your RR ratio. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for annihilating my like button. Okay, let's move on. So Square and Uber, same, exactly same, very similar. Like, this same pattern here. And then Uber had a good news. It was in the watch list yesterday. I told you, like they introduced the same day 15-minute delivery. I was watching Uber for that reason, and I think I alerted around this area when it broke. This was the opening range candle on the 5-minute. When it broke this one, it was holding it well here, so I entered here, and it was just consolidating here for a while. And I don't know, maybe a news broke out or something, and it just went like nuts here. Like I was like 0.29 or 0.25, 25 cents for the $48, and then it just went to like 60 or something. And like whenever you see something like this, right, you have to take profits, because chances are that there are shorts waiting on, like, there were some sellers on the top waiting to sell order, right? Like you can get back in again on the retest of the EMA. And another thing to note, very important, very critical, not a lot of people talk about that, but like let's say this is the candle, right? If it is closed below 50%, right? If this candle size close, I mean, you see a pullback which is more than 30.38 level here, get out. Usually buyers are around this level. If they are not here, that means it's a false breakout, most probably. It's better to get out. So that's why I sold my contracts, scaled out 60% position here, and then I scaled out remaining, and I saw that there is no like I don't see any buyers here. They're just like it's just falling down, like when there are buyers, right? Like this scenario here, buyers were pushing the price up, but in this case sellers were controlling everything. And it was also almost 10:35, and it didn't push higher. Just take profits and move on. Okay, what question? When determining your stop, you use the same time frame to determine support, or do you use more? Well, yeah, I mean, if I'm doing like let's say that I'm doing market open scalps, like this one wasn't market open because it was already around this area, was like 10:25. I will move to 15-minute support zones, like 15-minute candles, because that gives you a better idea on what's going on in a higher time frame. In 15-minute time frame, these are all green candles, right? All of them. But if you are on a lower time frame, you might get faked out on stop loss and stuff like that. So yeah, I love you, Drippy. I love you too, man. Your Uber was a good one. I missed out, but was watching price action. Thanks, man. Thanks. Okay. Top, take the exit on my call for this Uber trade. Just happened to open. Pure luck. Well, congratulations. Yeah, I mean, like, you have to take profits. If you see something like this, scale out 50% of position or even 100%, because 99% of the times I've seen, like, there's a pullback after this. There's always a pullback to get in. Maybe if it's a short squeeze or there is a great news, yeah, then it can continue, but it doesn't happen with the stock like Uber. It would happen with the stock like DWAC, like, those plays which have like no real fundamentals. Like, these are not really a company. So yeah. Okay, so next trade is QQQ. Right. So now look at QQQ, right? I covered this in my last live stream that this is another demand zone here, and it bounced off from there. So this is where creating these zones help a lot. And there was no pullback so far. It tested. I mean, this was all-time high, and today it tested that level. So I was already in the mindset that, I mean, if it breaks all-time high and if it's a false breakout, most probably we're going to see a dump, right? I'm looking at this 5-minute. So even before QQQ started dumping, right, I saw that all these stocks, the leaders, right, they started showing some weakness. For example, Crowd, right? You see here that CrowdStrike, I mean, this was a leader almost, right, for today, and it didn't break out more. I mean, it just started dumping. That was like a sign for weakness in the market. Same with Square, same thing, right? So you're seeing these leaders in the market starting to dump. So that tells you there is weakness already in the market, right? And indexes are starting to show the same thing. And I entered my put position here. I think I alerted around 11, yeah, around this area. And a good area to manage risk against, because you can just get out if it breaks out to this area, which it didn't. And I added more on my position here. Like, I added a little bit of position, and then I added a little bit more here. And then, wow, look at that dump, straight 5 minutes. Took some profits here, of course. As soon as you see something like that on an index, very, very, very important to take profits. This was a support area here from the market open. So very, very, very important to take profits with indexes. Like, it bounced from here, because indexes don't dump unless it's a market crash or some bad news. Like, this is a pullback. And it also broke this trend line, which it was holding for a while, right? So you're looking at, like, this was also support here, this trend line. So I had my first profit target, but then if you look here, this EMA, it never reclaimed this EMA. This was a great entry point again, another resistance area here, another entry spot for us shorting. And then you look here, again, it retested this area and this EMA, and then again, a good area to short. So, I mean, it's just pure technical plays here. You don't even have to look at flow in this case specifically, and then just then the 277 was my target, 278, because this is the gap here. I wanted this gap to be filled. It filled the gap, and then also it found a support here. It bounced from here, closed my position here. I had a trailing stop loss, and then later it just went sideways. So overall, it was a phenomenal trade. I think, like, we kind of maximized the profit here. Yeah, like 4 points down. You could have just taken this trade and made a lot. But yeah, so those were all the trades. What do you use TradingView using market hours? No, I use TradingView and Webull both. I have charts for both of them. So I have different settings for both, so that way I can see multiple time frames and I can see multiple EMAs. But you don't really need all of that. You can just use pure supply demand zones to trade. It's simple. Okay, what else? Can you go over BA calls? What does that mean? Go over them? Okay, so Boeing, look at this chart. Right, it's right at this demand zone. It's right at this trend line support area. Trend lines are not always 100% accurate. Up or down a little couple dollars doesn't matter. It's so tight right now. And if you look at the flow for Boeing for last couple of days, it's been like really bullish flow. Like I already gave an example for this, so let me change this to last 7 days here. Yeah, ask only and out of money only. And yeah, I mean, like premium is 50,000 here, minimum premium. I mean, look at these calls. And also let's change the expiration to next week, right? 7 days. Or let's do 15 days, so we have a little bit more time, right? And then, so these orders were from today, but if you look at the other days here, let's remove this 15. I mean, look at this 220 call, 230 call. I mean, there were some 300 calls here, 350 call, and this is a big order. So you're seeing out of money activity here, right? And then if you look at the flow history for, sorry, one sec. Yeah, you can just click on this, right? Yeah, if you look at the flow history for Boeing, right? 65% the other day, 60%. I mean, this is a bullish flow. So if you're seeing that, and then call volume is also high. This one it's not showing right now, but usually you can see the average here, and this is above average. Like these are all above average. And if you see call volume like that, bull premium like that here, 65% bullish premium, 60%. So that's really good. So that's the reason why I'm bullish on it. And also, I mean, Boeing has so many upgrades. Boeing has a lot of upgrades. I mean, there's like 280, 300, and then there's like this whole technical pattern here. I look at the higher time frame here, right? I mean, this looks like a channel breakout, right? Like this is a channel. It might break out of this. I mean, anything can happen. Depends on the earnings, but I'm bullish on it. That's the reason. It's a lotto basically. But let's see how it goes tomorrow. Tomorrow we have earnings pre-market. Okay. What kind of technical analysis on a ticker do you do on the ones that are your top priority? Well, like I just showed you, like simple technical analysis. Nothing complicated. Okay, any other question? Have you planned one day to make live trades? Yeah, I mean, like I have like 3 or 4 monitors, 3-4 systems. It's hard to do live trades because everything is like separate on monitors. I don't really have a sophisticated setup right now, so I don't really plan on doing that anytime soon. Plus, you have to hide your account information and everything. It's too much work. Yeah. When you say demand zones and supply zones, that means buyers and sellers. Yeah, I mean, demand zones, supply zones, very simple concept, right? Like, where is the demand? You know, if you look at this chart, for example, Boeing, right? You can see here, every time price comes around this area, you see a bounce, you see a bounce, you see a bounce. So this is a strong demand zone. This is where people are want to buy, willing to buy when it dips. And for supply, it's this area, right? This one. Every time it comes around this area, you see sellers start selling. So very simple concept. Just do it for any long, from higher time frames all the way to go to daily, go to 4 hours. You will find different support and supply and demand zones. For example, this is another support area, right? But now it will be a resistance now. So yeah. How does the squeeze momentum divergence help you? Good question. So look at McDonald's, right? This was in the weekly setups video. I'm still holding these calls. I took profits for weeklies and then I'm holding for a bigger dump for next week. But just look at this chart. I mean, how can you be bullish on it? Just broke out of this EMA support here. Bad news all around, and this EMA, like, look at this squeeze just fire to the downside, and then this is the divergence thing I was telling you. Look at this RSI divergence, right? You don't need indicators, right? You can just see here. Look at this RSI top here. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is the top and this is the top here. So it's not like it's down, right? And this is higher high here and lower high here. This is a divergence. This is a bearish divergence. I mean, I don't really pay a lot of attention to bearish divergences because they don't always work, but in this case it's working. You can see it, like, it's clear as a day. This chart is about to dump. And everything, like fundamentals and macro are looking bad. So I mean, like, it cannot get more obvious than that. But tomorrow we'll see in the earnings what happens. And look at the volume here last couple of days. I mean, all these red volume bars are higher than the green ones. So you can see here that, like, sellers are in control here, complete control here. That's how I play it. I try to keep it very simple. Don't have a lot of indicators. Yeah, but that's how it is. I follow unusual alerts. Yeah, I do follow them. I look at them end of day though. Sometimes I do look at them during the day, but there's too much information. Like, I'm trying to just be in the zone when I'm trading. I don't look at alerts apart from just watch list alerts. Bit off topic, but is there anything you do that's helped you calm and focus during the morning open? Meditation. Just like, I take deep breaths before market open. I look at my basically like a mini rule book. I repeat to myself every morning that I'm going to stick to my rules. I'm not going to FOMO. I'm gonna wait to find a good setup. I'm gonna respect my stop loss, and everything else it just follows along. I don't overthink as well. I think a lot of people start overthinking. Should I take it? Should I wait? Well, just take it. Have a stop in mind. You might get stopped out, but once you practice a lot, once you look at charts a lot, you know which ones are going to run. I mean, even today, all my charts except MRK were like, all were winners. So it just comes with time, I guess. Yeah, Amazon. I mean, I already gave my opinion on Amazon. Like, I already told, I think they're gonna beat earnings. And look, I mean, it has found support here. Really nice. I think Amazon, like a company like Amazon, you know how it is. Like, they can charge you. You have to pay. Can you post those rules? Yeah, I'll post. I love you too. Thank you, Alejandra. Can you post those rules, please? I mean, like, I'll post those rules. Yeah, I just have. It's all like a mess right now. I need to create a proper structure for them, but I'll do it. Thanks for asking. Three Red Bulls 5 minutes before the open. Yeah, that's not the way to go. Yeah, OLN. I mean, like, OLN, if you look here, it's just, I need this gap to be filled. I will be a buyer at this area. I'm like a little bit uncomfortable holding through this gap, and even the market is looking weak. So it will be a good opportunity to buy dips on this one, I think next week or this week. And BSX is like amazing chart, man. The best chart in my opinion. Like, with respect to just cup and handle. Like, we cannot get better than this. Look, it's like monthly cup and handle. Go to weekly. It's like a weekly cup and handle. I go to daily. So on like daily looking fantastic here. Just like a flag about to break out. It just depends on the earnings. It's in a squeeze here for a while. It's in a monthly squeeze here. I mean, look at the volume here. This great accumulation going on here. And this price is up. I mean, like, this is one of the best setups, but it just requires a lot of patience. I'm not gonna enter position, like, because it's just, earnings can go either way. Yeah, this will be available. I'll upload this. Yeah, Amazon needs to split. I agree. This is way too expensive. Yeah, Tesla has a gap to fill. And Tesla has always filled its gap, I think. I haven't seen any gaps which Tesla hasn't filled in the past. So chances are that it's gonna fill. I mean, yeah, there's this one here. So chances are that it might not fill it. This gap was never filled. One day it might, but it doesn't have to. I mean, this is coming out of a long basing here, so this is another, like, I mean, it can go back in time here. Look at this chart. I'm just messing around. Yeah, if it goes any further up, it will go back in time. Okay, so I think that's all, folks. Gonna go play with my dog for now. He's been waiting patiently. Snap dip buy. Okay, one last question. Yeah, because I'm looking at Snap as well. Yeah, so in my opinion, Snap, like, if you look at the 5-minute chart of Snap, right? Yeah, I'm looking to buy the dip at this area. I think I told, right, it was in one of my charts. Yeah, this one, around 52 area. And the reason is because these are unfilled bids here. Whenever you see a wick like this, right, these are unfilled bids here. And in my opinion, in my experience, I've seen the bids are always like these unfilled bids. They kind of retest this level. It might not, but I think this is a good entry area. This area here to manage your risk against. And right now, it looks like a bear flag. Might break down, and this would be a good area to buy calls, no doubt. Thank you guys. Have a good rest of your day.